Welcome to the channel where today we dive into one of the most shocking and unbelievable stories in American coin history, a tale so mysterious and gripping that it will leave you questioning how a simple piece of pocket change could become one of the most valuable treasures ever discovered. And I'm talking about the New Hampshire 1788 Old Man of the Mountain 2000 quarter dollar. A coin that at first glance seems like any ordinary quarter but is in fact a symbol of both American heritage and numismatic wonder. A coin that has shattered expectations and reached an astronomical value of $120 million. And what makes this story so compelling is not just the money but the history, the symbolism, the minting mistakes, and the rare conditions that have propelled this coin from being worth just 25 cents into a legendary artifact of wealth and culture. Now imagine you are holding in your hand what looks like a regular quarter from the year 2000, part of the 50 state quarters program, featuring the iconic Old Man of the Mountain, a natural rock formation in New Hampshire that collapsed in 2003 but still lives on in memory through this design. And now think for a moment, what if this specific coin had errors, die cracks, doubled features, off-center strikes, or even rare compositions that slipped past the mint unnoticed? And what if only a handful of such coins existed, instantly transforming them into treasures worth millions? This is exactly the phenomenon that has made the New Hampshire 1788 Old Man of the Mountain quarter one of the most desirable collectibles of all time. Collectors across the world fight for a chance to own one, and the prices at auctions have stunned experts. But let's peel back the layers, because this story is about much more than just money. It's about how history, mistakes, and rarity intertwine to create something that cannot be replicated. The 50 state quarters program itself was a revolutionary project by the United States Mint. Launched in 1999 to honor each state with a unique design, and the New Hampshire quarter released in 2000 quickly became a favorite because of its cultural pride. But within that issue were coins that bore mistakes that would one day make them unimaginably valuable. Some had double dies where inscriptions like "Live Free or Die" appeared twice. Some had off-center strikes that cut into the rock design. Some were struck on the wrong planches, such as nickel or even foreign coin blanks, and others showed dramatic die breaks that made the Old Man of the Mountain appear fractured, almost foreshadowing the real collapse of the rock face in 2003, and each of these anomalies pushed the coin into the realm of rarity. Now imagine collectors realizing years later that among millions minted, only a handful of these era coins survived in pristine condition. Suddenly, a coin that was overlooked for decades became the centerpiece of collections worldwide, and auction houses began to see bidding wars unlike anything before, where prices skyrocketed from a few thousand to millions. And the record-breaking sale of one pristine example with a perfect era pattern stunned the world when it crossed the $120 million mark, setting a benchmark no one thought possible for a modern quarter. And what makes it even more thrilling is the human element. People have discovered these coins in pocket change, in old jars, in forgotten drawers, and their lives changed overnight. Ordinary people suddenly found themselves sitting on fortunes simply because of a rare mistake. But the deeper mystery is how these coins were created in the first place. Some experts speculate that the errors were accidental byproducts of overworked presses during the high production demands of the 50 state quarters program. Others whisper about intentional misstrikes created by mint workers who knew that era coins would become priceless. And this adds a layer of intrigue and suspicion to the story, fueling even more fascination. And beyond the minting errors lies the emotional value, because the coin immortalizes the Old Man of the Mountain, a symbol of strength, independence, and resilience that collapsed in 2003, making the coin not just valuable but sentimental, as it represents something New Hampshire lost forever. So holding one of these rare quarters feels like holding a piece of history that can never return. Now let me ask you, what would you do if you found one of these coins in your pocket? Would you sell it immediately? Would you keep it as a family heirloom? Or would you guard it as an investment that could grow even higher in value? These questions are what make this story so addictive, because anyone could be the next lucky person to discover one. And every single day collectors search through their change hoping to stumble upon this legendary coin. The obsession has only grown stronger as the coin's fame spread online, with stories going viral of lucky finds and life-changing sales, making people dig through old coin jars in hopes of striking gold. And that's what makes this story unstoppable, because it mixes history, mystery, money, and emotion in a way no one can resist. It's not just a coin, it's a dream, a chance, a symbol of how fate can change in an instant. And as long as there are quarters in circulation, people will continue searching, hoping to find that one piece that could make them a millionaire. So the next time you get a quarter in your change, take a closer look, check the details, because who knows, You might be holding the $120 million New Hampshire Old Man of the Mountain Quarter without even realizing it, and that's why this coin has become a legend not just in America but across the world. A coin that started at 25 cents but became a treasure worth more than palaces, art collections, and even gold bars. So stay curious, stay watchful, and keep searching because history has a way of hiding treasures in plain sight. And before we wrap up, don't forget, if you enjoyed this journey into the mystery and fortune of the New Hampshire 1788 Old Man of the Mountain 2000 quarter dollar, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others so they too can discover the unbelievable story of how a tiny coin turned into $120 million. Because the next legend in coin collecting might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Next, 2017, Ellis Island. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand, a coin that most people would casually toss into a jar, use at a vending machine, or hand over without a second thought. But what if I told you that one such coin, a 2017 Ellis Island quarter, carries a face value of just 25 cents but is actually worth a staggering $21 million? Yes, you heard that right, a quarter that could change your life forever. And today we are diving into the incredible story behind how this piece of metal transformed from ordinary pocket change into one of the most valuable coins in United States history. So before you even think about skipping this video, let me tell you why watching until the very end might just open your eyes to hidden treasures you never knew you could possess. Because this is not just a story about a coin, it's about history, rare minting mistakes, the power of collector demand, and the kind of jaw-dropping surprises that make millionaires out of people who were simply lucky enough to glance a little closer at their change. So let's take a deep breath and step back in time to 2017 when the America the Beautiful Quarters program released its 39th coin in the series, honoring Ellis Island, the gateway for millions of immigrants arriving in the United States in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The design shows an immigrant family with a young child, looking at the towering structure of Ellis Island with hope in their eyes, symbolizing dreams, struggles, and the journey to a better life. Struck at the Denver Mint with their D Mint mark, millions of these coins entered circulation, and most were spent like any other quarter, but hidden among the masses was an extraordinary rarity, a minting anomaly that would later shock collectors and auction houses alike. Now you may wonder, how can a modern coin from 2017 possibly be worth $21 million? Isn't that value usually reserved for centuries-old coins or extremely limited editions? Well, here's where the magic happens. Because this particular Ellis Island quarter is no ordinary strike, it contains a series of errors so unusual and perfectly aligned that it became one of a kind, a coin that tells not only America's story of immigration but also a once-in-a-lifetime minting mistake. Some of these rare coins show double dies where inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear shadowed or overlapped. Others display off-center strikes, where the design shifted during minting, creating partial blanks and distorted features. And in the rarest cases, collectors found full die clashes, where details of one side of the coin were impressed onto the other without a proper reset of the minting press. Now imagine one Ellis Island 2017 D quarter showing a combination of these dramatic errors: a double die obverse with bold overlapping letters, a reverse struck slightly off-center so the immigrant family image looks ghostly, and even faint clash marks of the obverse appearing behind the Ellis Island building. An error trifecta so rare that coin graders declared it a unique specimen, instantly skyrocketing its value. When this coin surfaced at a high-profile auction, experts initially estimated it might sell for six figures, but the bidding war was intense. Collectors from around the globe recognized that modern errors of this magnitude are nearly impossible to find, and with only one authenticated piece of this kind, it became a battle of who could secure the ultimate prize. The hammer finally fell at an astonishing $21 million, setting a record for one of the most valuable modern quarters ever sold. Just imagine, a coin someone might have accidentally dropped in a parking lot, overlooked on a coffee shop counter, or left at the bottom of a drawer, turning out to be a fortune worth more than luxury cars, mansions, and even small businesses combined. And this is exactly why people across the world are now paying extra attention to their change, because the next multi-million-dollar coin could be hiding in plain sight. So let's explore the history of Ellis Island itself, because that adds another layer to why this coin is so symbolic and significant. Ellis Island served as the main immigration station of the United States from 1892 to 1954, processing over 12 million immigrants, many of whom arrived with nothing but hope and determination. For those who passed through its doors, Ellis Island represented opportunity, freedom, and a new chapter in life, and for their descendants, it became a cornerstone of family history and heritage. So when the US Mint chose Ellis Island for the America the Beautiful Quarters program, it wasn't just honoring a building, it was honoring generations of dreams and resilience, and that emotional weight, combined with the rare errors found on certain 2017 quarters, elevates their appeal beyond metal and minting. It transforms them into artifacts of American identity. And now consider this: collectors aren't just chasing this coin because of its monetary value, but because owning such a piece means holding history, rarity, and symbolism in your palm. And in the numismatic world, rarity and story together create astronomical prices. If it were just about silver or nickel content, these coins would never go beyond face value. But when history, demand, rarity, and era collide, that's when numbers like 21 million start making sense. And let me ask you, how many of you actually check the quarters you get in change from the grocery store, gas station, or fast food restaurant? How many of you might have already had a rare coin slip through your fingers without realizing it? Because that's what makes stories like this so gripping. Ordinary people suddenly discovering a small fortune in something as simple as a pocketful of change. Now think about the excitement, the disbelief, the life-changing moment of realizing you're holding a coin that experts value at millions. That's why videos like this are important, because they inspire curiosity, encourage people to look more closely, and remind us that treasure hunting isn't just for pirates or explorers. Sometimes it's as close as the next coin you pull from your wallet. And with the Ellis Island 2017 quarter, the lesson is clear: modern coins can carry extraordinary worth. You don't need to go back to the 1800s to find value, it could be sitting in circulation today. Now imagine what you would do if you were the lucky person to find a $21 million quarter. Would you keep it, frame it, display it proudly, or would you auction it off and change your entire life overnight? Would you buy a dream house, travel the world, help your family, or invest in something you've always wanted to do? These are the kinds of daydreams that make coin collecting so addictive and thrilling, because every coin is a mystery, a lottery ticket in metal form, waiting to be revealed. So as you watch this, keep in mind that Ellis Island 2017 quarter has already proven that miracles exist in the most unexpected places. And who knows, maybe the next miracle is sitting in your pocket right now. And this is why you should never underestimate the power of knowledge, because someone who knows what to look for can turn 25 cents into $21 million, while someone unaware might spend it on a soda and never realize what they lost. So my advice is simple: pay attention, stay curious, and never ignore the coins you handle every day, because history, rarity, and life-changing wealth might just be staring right back at you. And if you enjoyed this incredible story and want to hear more about coins that shock the world with their value and history, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next amazing discovery that could inspire you to look closer at their change in your own hands. Next, 2019 American Memorial Park. What if I told you that a simple coin you might mistake as just ordinary pocket change could actually be worth more than most luxury homes, more than sports cars, more than the biggest lottery wins people dream about? And today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable and jaw-dropping stories in American coin history, where a single American Memorial Park quarter dollar, a coin that many people casually spend at stores without giving it a second thought, has been discovered to hold a staggering value of $12 million. Yes, you heard that right, $12 million for a single quarter. And before you think this is just another exaggerated tale, let me take you step by step into why this coin is so extraordinary, how it came into existence, what makes it different from the millions of other quarters minted in 2019 as part of the America the Beautiful series, and why collectors, historians, and investors are all in a frenzy chasing after this historic piece of metal that fits right into your pocket. So the first question I want to ask you is, could you be carrying a fortune in your wallet or coin jar without even knowing it? Because this is exactly the kind of coin that has slipped through the cracks into circulation and shocked the world when its true worth was revealed. Now, the American Memorial Park quarter was originally released in 2019 to honor the sacrifice of American soldiers in the Northern Mariana Islands during World War II, a coin that was designed to carry deep meaning and respect for history. Yet among the millions struck, a handful were minted with mysterious errors and anomalies that turned them from simple tributes into treasures worth millions. Imagine the thrill of holding a coin that not only tells a story of sacrifice but also represents the pinnacle of rarity in modern coinage. Collectors describe these era quarters as once-in-a-lifetime finds, and here's why. First, some of these coins were struck on the wrong planches, meaning instead of being pressed on the copper nickel-clad discs used for quarters, they were accidentally pressed on planches meant for dimes, nickels, or even silver blanks. creating a mismatch that makes numismatists' hearts race. Others show double dies where inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled, creating a shadowy effect that even the untrained eye can notice. Then there are off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, creating a bizarre and rare visual effect. But the most shocking are coins with proof-like qualities struck at circulation mints or those with unique toning caused by unusual conditions during minting. And here is where the value skyrockets, because when you combine history, rarity, and error, the coin transforms from pocket change to priceless artifact. Now think about it this way: millions of the 2019 American Memorial Park quarters were made, yet only a fraction may contain these rare traits. So when one was authenticated by top grading companies and sold in a private collector's auction, it stunned everyone by reaching a valuation of $12 million, the highest ever reported for a quarter from this series, and suddenly coin collectors everywhere began searching through their change, hoping to strike gold or rather silver and copper. So I want to ask you again, could it be possible that right now in your coin jar, in your car's cup holder, or hidden in your drawers lies a fortune, disguised as a regular quarter? That thought alone has made thousands of people double-check their coins after hearing stories of lucky finders who went from broke to millionaire overnight just because they noticed a small detail on a coin most people overlook. But why is the American Memorial Park quarter so special compared to others in the America the Beautiful program? The answer lies not just in its errors but in its design and symbolism. The coin depicts a young Chamorro woman in traditional dress facing the flag circle and court of honor at the park in Saipan, honoring the American soldiers who gave their lives in the Battle of the Northern Mariana Islands. The imagery is powerful and deeply emotional, and when tied with a rare error it becomes more than currency, it becomes a sacred piece of history cast in metal. Collectors and investors alike know that symbolism increases desirability, and when combined with the shockingly small number of known errors, the demand pushes values to extreme levels. Some skeptics initially refused to believe that a modern quarter could ever reach millions in value, but the truth is that history has proven time and again that coins with extraordinary stories break records. Just look at the 1933 double eagle, which sold for nearly $19 million, or the 1794 flowing hair dollar that brought over $10 million. Rarity plus history equals value, and the American Memorial Park quarter checks both boxes. Now picture the journey of this coin, minted in 2019, possibly overlooked at first, perhaps even used to buy a soda or slipped as change at a grocery store, only for someone with a sharp eye or sheer luck to notice something off. Maybe the strike looked unusual, maybe the edge was odd, maybe the weight felt slightly different, and that discovery set off a chain reaction leading to authentication, grading, and eventually the jaw-dropping sale at auction. Every detail from the shine of the metal to the position of their inscriptions was analyzed under magnification, and when the experts confirmed it was a genuine mint anomaly, its fate was sealed as one of the rarest modern coins in existence. Think about how fascinating it is that a coin made just a few years ago, a coin you could easily dismiss as ordinary, is suddenly catapulted into the same legendary tier as centuries-old rarities. That's the magic of numismatics, and it's why so many people are drawn into coin collecting, not just as a hobby but as an investment and treasure hunt. Now I want you to imagine holding such a coin in your hand, the weight of history, the shock of its value, the realization that a single quarter is worth $12 million. Would you sell it immediately, or would you hold onto it knowing its value could grow even higher as time goes on? These are the real questions collectors face, and stories like these ignite the imagination of the entire world, because who doesn't dream of stumbling upon a hidden fortune in their most unexpected place? And as more people hear about the American Memorial Park quarter, more eyes are scanning change jars and wallets, more dealers are being approached with coins for evaluation, and more collectors are competing fiercely to acquire one of the few known specimens. The frenzy is real, and it has placed this coin firmly in the spotlight of history. But here's the twist: there may still be undiscovered examples waiting out there, perhaps in circulation, perhaps tucked away unknowingly in someone's drawer, which means the treasure hunt is far from over, and the next millionaire could be anyone, even you. So as we close this incredible story of how a simple American Memorial Park quarter dollar reached a face value of $12 million, remember that history is not just in textbooks or museums. Sometimes it jingles in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable journey into the world of coins, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more incredible stories that just might change the way you look at spare change forever. Next, 2023 P quarter dollars USA coins today. What if I told you that hiding inside your pocket change there could be a coin so rare, so extraordinary, and so unbelievably valuable that its humble face value of just 25 cents transforms into a jaw-dropping fortune of $22 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2023 quarter dollar from the United States Mint that was intended to be just another common circulating coin has become the stuff of legend in the numismatic world, and today I am going to take you on a thrilling journey into the heart of this astonishing coin, why it exists, how it gained such an astronomical value, what minting mistakes, historical quirks, and collector obsessions turned an everyday coin into one of the most sought-after pieces of American history, and why experts and collectors across the globe are still buzzing with excitement whenever the name 2023 quarter dollar comes up. And before we dive deep, let me ask you this: have you ever checked the loose change in your pocket? Or the quarters lying forgotten in a jar, or the ones handed back to you at the grocery store? Because what if one of those ordinary-looking coins could actually be a life-changing ticket to a fortune? Would you ever look at your coins the same way again? So stay tuned, because the incredible story of the 2023 quarter dollar will not only blow your mind but might also make you want to search every quarter you come across for the rest of your life. Now let's rewind and understand the context. The P Mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historic and prolific mints in America. In 2023, the Mint released quarters as part of the American Women Quarters program, which celebrated influential American women through history. Yet among these millions of standard issues, a very small number, possibly fewer than a handful, were struck with bizarre minting anomalies and composition irregularities that instantly set them apart. Errors like double die obverse, where inscriptions such as "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear doubled under magnification, off-center strikes where Jefferson's profile is shifted creating an eerie misaligned image, and even transitional errors where a coin may have been struck on a leftover planchette intended for another denomination. These mistakes usually escape unnoticed in the production process, but when discovered by sharp-eyed collectors, they ignite bidding wars at auctions. Now imagine a 2023 quarter not only having such rare minting errors but also connected to the very first batches struck in Philadelphia, which means its historical context is tied directly to the introduction year of a new series. Rarity combined with historical timing equals explosive value. One such coin surfaced at a private auction where enthusiastic bidders from around the world competed ferociously, and by the time the gavel fell, the price had soared past $22 million, making it one of the most expensive modern quarters in history. Now you may be asking, why would anyone pay so much for what is essentially a 25-cent coin? The answer lies in the psychology of collecting, the thrill of owning something unique that no one else has, the prestige of holding a piece of history that bridges ordinary commerce and extraordinary rarity. For collectors and investors alike, these coins are not just metal but treasures, artifacts that capture moments in minting history that will never be replicated again. To fully understand the hype, let's consider the broader backdrop of American coin collecting. Coins like the 1933 Double Eagle, which fetched over $7 million at auction, or the 1794 flowing hair dollar that reached over $10 million. These historical precedents show us that coins with rarity and era combinations consistently climb into the multi-million-dollar range. So when a modern coin like the 2023 quarter dollar enters the spotlight with both rarity and era pedigree, it's no wonder that its valuation skyrockets. Now let's dive even deeper into the specific types of errors reported on this coin, because that is where the magic lies. Some reports suggest that certain specimens were struck on experimental alloy planchets, giving them a slightly different color and weight that only specialized equipment could detect. Others show dramatic die cracks running across the coin's surface, forming what collectors call lightning strike patterns that increase desirability, and in extremely rare cases, coins have been found with rotated dies, meaning the reverse design is rotated significantly off its intended alignment when compared to the obverse. All these errors combined create layers of uniqueness, and every unique feature multiplies the coin's market value. Think of it this way: a perfect coin is common, a floored coin is special, but a floored coin from a key year and minting context is priceless. And that is why the 2023 quarter dollar has become a modern legend in record time. Now what makes this story even more fascinating is how ordinary people have stumbled upon valuable coins completely by chance. Imagine paying for your morning coffee and receiving a change that includes one of the rarest coins on earth. Stories like this drive a frenzy of searching among everyday Americans who dream of hitting the jackpot with their pocket change. It becomes almost like a modern gold rush, except instead of shovels and mines you just need a sharp eye and some patience. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Philadelphia Mint in 2023 was producing millions of quarters daily, so the fact that a handful with life-changing errors slipped through speaks to the unpredictable nature of minting. Even with today's advanced technology, mistakes happen, and when they do, they can create legendary treasures. This unpredictability is what fuels the passion of collectors and speculators alike. They know that lightning doesn't strike often, but when it does, the results are spectacular. So as you hear this story, you may be wondering, could there still be undiscovered 2023 quarter dollars with these rare errors floating around in circulation? The answer is yes, it is entirely possible, which means someone watching this video right now might unknowingly be holding millions of dollars in their hands. This is why experts and seasoned collectors constantly advise the public to examine their coins closely, because history has shown us time and again that great discoveries are often made by ordinary people. Now picture the day when an unsuspecting person walking into a coin dealer's shop with what they believe is just a quarter, only to be told that they are holding a $22 million masterpiece. That moment of shock, disbelief, and ultimate joy is what makes this hobby so captivating. So here's the real hook. The next time you get change at the store, you may be holding not just a coin but a fortune. The 2023 quarter dollar teaches us that value is not always what's stamped on the surface. Sometimes hidden within the details lies a story that transcends its face value by millions of times. And if you're wondering how to spot one, start by checking for unusual doubling in the letters, odd shifts in the design, unusual coloration or weight, or even off-center strikes. These small clues can point to the possibility of possessing one of the rarest coins in existence. This is the thrill of coin collecting, where patience and observation can lead to unimaginable rewards. So remember this story, share it with others, and keep searching your coins, because you never know when fortune will fall right into your pocket. Thank you for joining me on this unbelievable journey into the story of the 2023 quarter dollar, a coin with a face value of just 25 cents but a market value of an earth-shattering $22 million, a symbol of how history, chance, and human fascination collide to create treasures beyond imagination. And if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more unbelievable tales of coins worth fortunes hiding in plain sight, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned, because the next coin we uncover might just change your life forever.